Hi everybody, it's Mary Jo from MaryJoesCreations. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. How y'all doing? Happy Thursday for you. It is Wednesday for me, but it is Thursday for you. How y'all doing? If you haven't been here before, hey friend, welcome. Come join the madness. And if you have been here before, thank you so much for coming back. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's better. My back is killing me. But what else is new, right? Okay, so, as always, my mind is like, oh, it's driving me crazy. Okay, what am I doing? I don't know. Today, there are a few things that are going on. I think I said it, but happy Thursday. I'm still trying to find my bearings and you know, figure this whole thing, video making, vlogging work. Oh, it's been a day. It is about, what, 3:40, and I've spent almost all day editing and writing down, you know, all the stuff I want to keep track of, and you know, goals and ideas for this year. And I've made a few decisions. I do want to start, like, having a more, I guess you can say, structured idea of what I'm doing. And, you know, I love lists and I love writing things down. And for a while, I lost that. And I'm trying to get back to that. And it always helps me focus a little bit. Because if you've been here before, I have severe ADHD. And I also have dyslexia. And I have, I was diagnosed a few years ago with widespread fibromyalgia. And the reason why I mention that is because there's something that comes along with that called fibrofog. And sometimes, if you don't know, it's just like I can't remember, I can't think. It's just like, makes it even worse to concentrate, because I already have problems with concentrating and all of that. So, you know, it just is what it is. And I'm trying to learn how to deal with it. And being a little more structured helps me, even though I am a little chaotic when I do things because of my ADHD. I tend to work on stuff more than one thing at a time, because that's how I can concentrate and focus. And I know it's really weird, but if you know, you know. If you are like me and have ADHD, you know what I'm talking about. And the fibromyalgia makes it sometimes a little bit harder. So I want to start getting into a routine of writing everything down and having everything, you know, at least not exactly what I want to do or talk about, but have like an idea, and wherever it goes, it goes. Have like a loose, guideline, let's say. So I wrote down what I want to talk about on this video specifically. First of all, I've made 2 new blankets. Well, 3 if you count the one that I just, that you saw yesterday. But I put it up today, if that makes sense. Right? Is that the one I put up today? I think so. Dude, I can't even remember that. It's like, I believe it was the part 3 of my granny square blanket, and I literally just did this like, what, an hour ago or 2 hours ago or something like that. I took a little bit of a break before I started filming, but probably I needed a little longer one. But anyway, we are going to do some filming right now, because I want to finish the square. So, so far this year, let's go there. So far this year, I finished my Vlogmas blanket. I finished my fancy blanket, which is what I'm calling it. My fancy granny square blanket. I finished I guess you could call it a baby blanket, because it's about the size of a baby blanket. I made a solid granny, well, not solid. I made a giant granny square blanket. And I think I'm calling it my periwinkle blanket. I'm going to show it to you in a little bit. Right, so I finished 3 blankets so far. And I don't know if you remember these squares, but I'm going to show you them as soon as I'm done with this one. I'm on my very last square on my very last round. And I want to work on this with you while we talk about a few things. Now, like I said, I've made 3 blankets so far. Those are 3 projects that are completed. I also am working on a sweater that I want for my birthday, and kind of like Valentine's Day. My favorite color, which is my birthstone, is purple. So for my birthday, I wanted to make a sweater that was, a few shades of purple and have a little pink in there to break it up. And I figured I could also use that as my Valentine's Day sweater. So I've been working on that. And as I think I mentioned in another video, I was also working on a brand new style cardigan that I'm creating, which I'm working on. And is there anything else? There's one more blanket that I'm almost finished with. And I think that's it besides this project here. Which, I don't know if you remember, but during Vlogmas, when I first started Vlogmas, there were a few whips that I already had. And a few of them were squares. These were one of the squares that I was working on. And then I was just doing so much for Vlogmas. I don't know if you watched those videos, but you should go check them out. A few of those videos that I did in the beginning, I did some of these squares. But there weren't many, and I honestly didn't know what I was going to do with these squares. At first, I thought I might want to make sweater or a cardigan. But recently I changed my mind. And you'll find out why in a few minutes. Now, I made the blanket for me, the Vlogmas blanket. And then the fancy blanket, I wanted to get rid of that yarn. And I was working on that and my sweater and my cardigan at the same time. But I tend to like to do big projects first because they take the longest. And if I can get them out quickly, then all the smaller stuff I can work on and it'll be faster for me. It's just how my brain works. So I decided to finish that blanket. And then, as always, something happens. And the little girl I babysit, or not babysit, but I watch her every once in a while. She came here and, you know, she always wants a crocheted blanket. And she was, for a while, sleeping with my shawl, which is ginormous. It's a very big rectangle shawl. I don't know if I've shown it before, but... And, you know, I just wanted her to have an actual blanket. So, while I was working on my fancy blanket, I decided to make her a blanket so that there's one in the living room whenever she comes over, which isn't very often, but I also do have, you know, other children in my life that if they come over, they can use it as well. So I just wanted to have a small blanket in the living room that can be used at any time. And small blankets don't take very long to make, right? So I decided that I was going to start one of those. Well, luckily enough, I had gone with my friend who's the baby's grandmother, and we had gone somewhere, and I took that project with me, so I ended up making that blanket, even though I had started it already. I finished it, so technically I finished the blanket in 2 days. And again, it's not a very big blanket, and I'll show it to you. And I left it without a... what do you call that? Border, because I made that decision because what I would like is for it to be an existing, kind of like an existing whip, but not really. And what I mean by that is that I want the ability to, you know, once there's no more small children that are coming in and out of this house or, you know, around me, then I want to be able to make it bigger. And, you know, hopefully one day I'll be able to make it like a regular nice size blanket. But I want it to be able to be used as they're growing, if that makes sense. So there's no border on it. It's just a regular granny square that's, I don't even know how many rounds. But here it is. Here it is. And it's just, I think this is a periwinkle. It's Loops and Threads Soft Classic. And it's periwinkle and gray. So, you know, it can be for anybody. Boy, girl, who doesn't love purple? And let me see how many rounds it is. Let me count. Let's, me and you find out together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 rounds. And it's a pretty decent size blanket for a little kid. Now, she's small for her age, but she's 3. So, I know this will be good for her right now. And that's why I didn't put a border around it, because if she grows more, which is going to happen, it's not if, it's when, I can just grab the yarn and keep going. Just tie it on and keep going around for as long as I want it. And as long as I have periwinkle or gray, I can do it. Or if I want, I was thinking about this last night. If I want, instead of like, you know, doing the same color, if I, let's say, don't have it and can't get it for whatever reason, and I want to make it bigger, then what I can do, so that you can see the progress of where it started and how big it's gotten over the years, I can grab a different shade of purple and a different shade of gray and add on to it for as big as I want to make it. And, you know, end it off there, and then do the same thing. No border, just a regular granny stitch row. And, you know, because you're not going to make a giant blanket as the child is growing, or children, or whatever. Whoever uses the blanket, if, you know, my grandkids come over, or, you know, if I'm lucky enough to have, you know, other kids in my life, because I love children. I love taking care of kids. And I just wanted to have a few blankets for kids around the house, which brings me to this project. So I finished this one. This one is done. And it's already baby approved. Because when I was making it, I tried putting it on her to see if it was big enough for her, and she thought I was putting her to sleep. And just grabbed the blanket and rolled over, and I'm like, no, you don't have to take a nap. I just wanted to see if it fit. So it was a little bit trying to get it away from her. So what I did was, it was a little bit too short at the moment. So when I came home, I ended up extending it, I think, by 4 or 5 rows. Because I don't remember if I was on the purple, if I was at the beginning of this purple row, or if I was at the end of this purple row when I tested it. But I do know that I added all the gray, and I think a couple of rows of purple. But I'm saying, like, I might have extended it, like, anywhere between 4 to 6 rounds, which for now I think is going to be big enough. And we have this blanket that is finished for now. So I'm not going to put it on an active whip list because it's completed. But it will be a blanket that will grow, you know, when the years go by. And when I finish that one, now, in total, at any given time, you know, I have at least 5 kids in my life. 6 kids, really, that come and go. And so I would eventually like to have a blanket for each of them in the house that they can use. Now, my grandson will probably end up claiming my Vlogmas blanket. I'm pretty sure of that. Which after I made my fancy blanket, I think I am going to put my Vlogmas blanket in the living room, and we'll see. But, you know, because it's not very wide, and the other one I just finished is much wider, so I really like that, and I'm going to keep that in here. Technically, I do want to have at least 2 blankets in here. And I would like to have at least like 2 big blankets, like the Vlogmas blanket, and at least, well, maybe 3 big blankets like the Vlogmas blanket, more or less, which one is being worked on, which is the living room blanket. Apparently that's what we're calling it. Let me weave in my ends while I finish talking to you. And so I would really like 3 living room blankets. One is a granny square blanket, which is going to be my Vlogmas blanket that's going in there. And the one I'm working on in there is a half double crochet blanket. Using a few different techniques, but it's all basically done in half double crochets. And I would like to have one more blanket in there that's more or less like teenage to adult size blanket. And then I want to have at least 4 baby kid blankets, right? That will cover, you know, a baby up to like 9 years old. And I would, again, like to make those blankets where they can grow. So hopefully one day I can leave, you know, I can give one to each kid when they get bigger and they're adults. And I would like to do that. Or, you know, keep them as memories because each kid had a blanket. I'm just a sentimental person like that. You know, I'm one of those that likes to hand things down from generation to generation. I don't know where I get it from, but that's just who I am. So what I would like is to have anywhere from 6 to 8 blankets. Yeah, 6 to 8 blankets in the living room. All different sizes before the end of the year. And apparently quite a few of them are getting done right now. So this blanket here, if you remember, it was those squares that I had started, and these are scraps from my big blanket that I'm making for the living room. And initially, I only had 2 squares done, and I was going to make them bigger to cover a pillow. But then I decided not to do that, and, you know, I decided that, well, in the very beginning, I didn't know what I wanted to do with those scraps. And at first I thought a sweater, and I said no. Since the colors were the same as the blanket, I thought maybe a pillow cover, or, you know, like to cover a pillow insert. But then I decided that I would like to have a blanket. And at first I was going to make it a big blanket, right? And put it in my room, so I have one in the living room with these colors and one in my room in these colors. But when I started making the blanket for the little girl, I decided to, instead of making this a really big blanket, I would make it more of like a medium-sized blanket and make it bigger than the granny square, but not as big as, another blanket, or like, let's say, the Vlogmas blanket. And I decided to make 12 squares and they're 7 rounds each, and have 3 squares by 4 squares, which is going, if my calculations are correct, it's going to be a lot longer than the granny square, the periwinkle blanket, let's call it. And I think that's good for now. And I was thinking of doing the same thing as to where I wouldn't put a border around it. But now I'm thinking something a little bit different, because since this is a bunch of granny squares that are being put together, and I want to do it in the granny stitch, the join as you go, right? I was trying to figure out how I was going to be able to do that and then be able to add it onto it later on down the road, right? So here's what I'm thinking. I can join these all together and, do my outline like I like to do. What color I'm using for the outline, I'm not sure yet. I was thinking of joining it with this, but then I don't know if I want to join it with this, because I would actually like this to be some kind of border to finish it off. So I was thinking that I might join it in this, and then do 2 outline rounds, and once the outline is done, I don't, that's what I'm in. If you've been here, even if I decide, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, there's a very good chance that by the time I get there, I'm going to be like, no, this doesn't look right. I want to do it this way. So it's always subject to change, right? But maybe do the connecting and the outline, which will finish 1 row of the outline, right? And then do another row of granny stitch around it to make it all come together a little bit more. And instead of doing a border, I can do a 3rd round of granny stitch around the whole thing in the purple and leave it that way. And then once, if I decide that I want to add onto it, instead of adding onto it the way it is, I can do squares all the way around, right? And I'll show you more about that idea when it's all put together and when it's finished. But I want to have this blanket finished by today. And hopefully, if I can get it finished early, I can do the final, finish the final skein of the blanket, yarn, blanket. Because again, I only have one skein left of that, right? And when I'm done with that, and I see how big it is, then I'll decide whether or not I want to add another skein and make it bigger, because I would like to have that one in my room because it's a different yarn, so it'll be a more heavier blanket in case I need it. But I would like to have that one finished by today. If, you know, I can get this finished. And that's a big if. But this one shouldn't be as hard to put together as my last one because it's a lot smaller. And it's, you know, the ends, there aren't as many squares, so it shouldn't take me that long to weave in these ends, which is what I'm doing right now. And you know what? Let me cut these ends off because these are done. So we're going to snip. One. Two. Three. So we have 3 squares completely done. That's 1, 2, 3. Put these off to the side because I did write down things that I want to discuss. Okay, so that was the main thing, the blankets, right? And that brings me into the next one. Like all of my active whips that I brought over, I want to get those done. I want to have all of my active whips that I carried over from 2025 and have them finished by no later than the end of March. That's what I would like to do. Is that going to happen? Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. But we are going to try. And I believe that I have, in the beginning of the month, I had carried over 12. And I believe that 2 are already finished. Well, almost finished. One was the fancy square blanket, and that one's done. And this one is almost done. And I think I started that blanket, the periwinkle one, in the beginning of January. And I did add that onto my active whip list because it is an active whip. Anything that doesn't get finished that same day that gets carried over is an active whip. So as soon as this is put together, it'll be another finished whip. So I think that we're going to be up to 3. I mean, down 3, which will make it, what, 9? And I'll be okay with that. As we go picking up, whips here and there, I want to work on the Halloween cardigan actually very soon, because that can also be kind of like a Mardi Gras Day kind of cardigan. I know a bunch of you, when I was doing the Halloween one, said that, or like people that I showed it to, everyone was saying it reminded them of Mardi Gras. So I want to finish that cardigan this month, before February. And that would be good. And I have my birthday sweater and the other green cardigan that I would like to finish before the end of January, which is in what? A week and a half? But it might be doable. So one of my goals is to have all of my whips that I carried over from from December into now, will be done, let's say, before April. That's what I'm shooting for. And I do have a list of them, and we're going to mark them off as we go. The other thing I have on my list is making blankets. The goal for this year is to have at least 12 blankets made. Well, I'm on a good start. And by blankets, I mean any size blankets. It doesn't matter. As long as they're to use within the house. And that's not including any blankets that anyone might want. I know that a lot of people think that it's expensive, and it is expensive, but it's also handmade. So if you would like a, handmade blanket, you can contact me and we can discuss it. And again, not all blankets are going to be the same, because, it all depends on how long it takes me to make the blanket. And, it's also not saying that I might not make, that's not including any blanket that I might make for someone who, a friend who might want a blanket or something like that. Like the 2 blankets that I had at the end of the year. These 12 blankets are for me personally. And, the Vlogmas blanket will go into that. So I really am on like a blanket making kick. And I kind of like it. The other goal that I want for this year is to create 6 new patterns. Now, that's not very hard for me, because I don't use patterns, right? So anything I want to make, I have to write out. The thing is that I write them out for me and make notes, but I don't write them out as a pattern. And I want that to change, which is another item on my list, that all the patterns that I have completed you know, all the stuff that I've made that I have notes for, I would like to sit down, and clearly I am not going to be doing them all at once. It's going to take, you know, a while to go through all of them, but I want to do one more final, like, sit down, pick an item, make it following my instructions, and seeing how it comes out, making whatever adjustments I need to, and then writing out that pattern. And whatever I make from there, most likely will end up on my store, in my website. And that's from bags to cardigans, ponchos, different styles of cardigans. Some are going to have hoods. Some are going to be, you know, what do they call those? Cropped cardigans. I don't really wear those. I like my things long. Another one down. And, you know, that's, but I am going to have some cropped ones. Those will definitely go into onto my website. More hats. I want to design, I have quite a few ideas, because, like, I learned the basics, right? And especially, like, my beanies. They're very simple. They're just granny clusters. But I want to change that. I want to use that base and make some nicer beanies, some more textured beanies with maybe like some half double crochets in there, or, you know, make it look a little bit different. I want to design at least another pattern, at least one. And just a whole bunch of other ideas that I have in my head. But, like I said, the one goal is going to be creating 6 new patterns, which I'm already working on 2 new ones. Yes, 2, right at the moment. And we'll see how those turn out. And then organize all my notes for my projects and turn those into patterns. If someone doesn't know, my next thing on this list is make my own stitch markers, which I already do. But I do want to buy more closures so I can make more stitch markers and possibly put those up on my website. If some of you don't know, I used to make jewelry by hand. I used to do all the wiring and all the beading and all of that. And what better way than to make stitch markers and mix my 2 things that I really enjoy doing, which is jewelry making and crocheting. And that's another thing that I'm going to be doing more of, especially with bags, because I have quite a few different style of bags in my head that I want to make. I will also be incorporating, like, wire work and beading into those. And it's going to be really, really pretty, I think. But that's going to be more towards the end of the year or the middle of the year. But we'll see how that works. The next thing on my list is working on the website. I just started it. I'm not very computer savvy, so I'm figuring it out as I go, and hopefully things will get easier, more things will get put up, and things like that. So we're going to be working on that. And my next thing on my list is post at least, I'm going to try and do 5 videos a week on YouTube. Maybe like a Monday through Friday kind of thing. Or if something happens and I can't post on Monday, it'll be like a Tuesday to Saturday kind of thing. Let me know if you'd like that. But I want to, film most of what I do, and it gives me a lot of videos. So I'd figure that I can just post one every day of the week. And start posting more and being more up to date with my Facebook and my Instagram. That's the next item on my list. Okay, one more square down. And next is I want to plan out my videos a little bit better, right? So I want to, it's kind of like something like this, where I have somewhat of an idea of what I want to talk about and what I want to do. And again, you know how it is around here. Things go off the rails rather easily. But it doesn't hurt to try. So I want to have my videos planned a little bit more. And not just pick up and start filming what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, let you know ahead of time what I'm doing. This week, right now, I'm, like I said, working on this blanket. My goal, and again, for me, it's Wednesday. So I have 2 more days, right? So my goal by, let's say, Friday, is to have all of my active blanket whips, except for the living room one, finished. Which is this one and the blanket yarn one. Which neither one, this one won't take me much longer. I think by the end of the day, this one will be finished. In that one, I just have to sit down and work through one skein of yarn. Which, if memory serves me, is about an hour and a half. Because that's how long I could sit in this chair at a time. And I can sit here and finish off an entire skein before I need to take a break, or by the time I need to take a break. So I know it won't take me very long. And I want to have more progress on my sweater. I want to pick it up before Friday. And hopefully have it finished by Monday. Whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know, but one can only hope, right? Oh. So I want to have better planning and more structure in my videos. What's the other one? Oh, show you the other granny square blanket, which I did. And video ideas. Okay, so for the foreseeable future, this is what I want to work on. Now, as we all know, it is the end of Wow. January. I can't believe I'm saying that. It is what, the 21st, I think, today for me. It's the 21st right now when I'm filming this. And we have what, 10 days left? I can't remember. Did I? Yeah, I did. Okay. So we're going to start with the middle. Yeah, okay. So Valentine's Day is almost here. What I want to do is make some Valentine's Day things. Ooh, and there goes everything. I want to make more Valentine's Day things. I would like to make a cardigan in pink or different shades of pink. And possibly a sweater, but different than a raglan's. Like maybe like, which I really kind of don't like doing, but like a panel sweater where I make the front panel and the back panel and then join it. And then I don't do panels for sleeves. I tend to, once it's all joined together, I do the sleeves right onto the sweater. But maybe like a nice, not really oversized, but a nice Valentine's Day sweater. I have a few ideas that I'm sloshing around up there. Or like I was even thinking to make it a little bit different than the last one I did, which was my Thanksgiving Day sweater, my autumn sweater. I don't remember what I called it, but I would like to do another granny square sweater, which would do two things. One, I would get a Valentine's Day item out of it, and two, it would be reworking that pattern for it that I wrote down when I was making it and adjusting it and working out all the kinks. So I would work on one of my patterns and I would get a Valentine's Day sweater out of it. I would also like to make a scarf and maybe a hat, like a beanie. And I would also like to make another bag or two. Like my granny square bag that I made, that's the granny square pocket bag. I would love to make one like that in different shades of pink. And I would like to make another kind of like tote bag like this. And again, that would also be killing two birds with one stone, because I would be making something for Valentine's Day, but working on working on my first patterns and working out the kinks. And that's really what I want to do. Is that realistic? Probably not. Am I going to get anything done before Valentine's Day like I really want? Maybe, but I doubt it'll be all of it. And the last piece of news that I have is very exciting to me, and I'm very happy about it. And it's going to be a little bit of a story. So I need to take a break. Give me just a few minutes. Like I said, I need to take a break. And then I will come back here, which for you it'll literally be like, what, a second? And I will discuss the wonderful news that I have. And hopefully all will be wonderful. And Actually, there's two things, but it's all about the same person. So give me just a sec and I will be right back. Hey everybody. All right, well, I took a little break. I worked a little more on this. I took a little break. I had some dinner and I just relaxed for a little bit. And I'm going to show you my progress in just a second. But I did finish weaving in all the ends. I finished, I put them in an order that I wanted. I have them stacked here. And as soon as I'm finished with this square, I have 2 out of the 4 rows done. So this blanket will hopefully be put together, oh shoot, by tonight. And I don't really like putting them together while I'm filming because it's something that I do have to pay attention to make sure that I don't skip one like I just did, or attach it in the wrong place like I've done before. But I wanted to get this video finished, and there's only 2 things that we have to talk about. So I went over everything that's on my list as of right now. And tomorrow's video, I'm not sure yet what that's going to be about. Maybe it's going to be about my sweater, or, you know, one second. And let me put this down just for a second. You know, I don't know if it's going to be about my sweater or that's probably what it's going to be. And I'll save the reveal of all my blankets, or maybe even the other blanket. I don't know. It depends. I like to plan stuff out, but at the same time, when it comes to something like this, which has to do with like my creativity, you know, I might, with full intention, want to work on my sweater tomorrow, and then, you know, wake up and decide that I want to finish the rest of these blankets so that the only active blanket that I have that I can work on at the very moment is the one in the living room. I don't know. But anyway. Wait, did I do something here? Yes, I did. See, I skipped one. All right, I clearly cannot talk and work on this at the same time. Oh, yeah. Putting them together is like the hardest part because, again, it's not something that, you know, unless I'm doing the row on the bottom, it's not something that I can just crochet and not have to worry about it because I am attaching it. The only time in this process that I can afford not to look down or not really concentrate on it is when I'm going across it, right? So right now I'm attaching this last square to it, and then once I do that, I'm going to go down the side and then all the way back to the other side, and then start attaching again. So when I do that, I don't have to worry about, you know, paying attention to what I'm doing, because it's very simple. What the hell is going on here? Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, is that it now? You know, this part, again, you really have to pay attention. Because if not, it's easy to, you know, make a mistake. So that's why, like on my last blanket, I really didn't film much of me attaching it either. Because it was just, I did make a few mistakes putting it together, and I don't know why I thought this was going to go any better, but we're trying. So what was I saying? Hopefully I will be able to get this blanket done, or at least everything attached, before I go to sleep. That's my goal for today. And that's what I'm going to do for the rest of the night. But there was just 2 more things that I wanted to discuss, and I think I just said that, but I got distracted because, okay, again, what in the holy hell? All right, I can't do this while I'm talking to you clearly, because one more time, I didn't attach something. So, let's get on with what I have to talk about. And then we'll end the video, and I'll work on this. And probably, finish it while I'm editing. But anyway, on my list that I was going through, there's only 2 things left. And it's kind of big news, hopefully. I follow, let's try this one more time. I found someone recently on YouTube that I found during Vlogmas, and for some reason, I followed her immediately. I subscribed to her channel immediately. She's funny, and she's, you know, a very nice person. From what I can tell, she is a lovely human being. And I watch her channel all the time now, and she's just a wonderful person from what I can tell, like I said, and she's a wonderful crocheter. She does the most beautiful plushies, and her name is Megan from Miss Megan Made Me. And I will type her name down in the description box. If you want to go check her out, she is amazing. And I comment on her stuff all the time. And if you're watching this, Megan, hi, how are you? She is doing this thing called, and I'm getting mine printed out, so I don't have it yet. And on the next video, I will show you, and I will actually tell you, or show you what I put in mine. So she's doing this thing called, Pico, which is her version of bingo. And I think that's so fun because, you know, I'm pretty much making a list already, but to have it on a card like that would actually be really cool. And she also, on her channel, in her last video, said that she would like to do a collab with another YouTuber. And, you know, like I said, she's one of my favorite people to watch. She's up there in the top 3. I can't even choose which one out of the 3 that I love the most, but I love her. She is wonderful. And so I decided that I want to do Pico with her. And I'm going to, my friend is going to print it out for me. And as soon as I get it, I will write up the card and I will be showing you what it is. And hopefully soon, you know, sometime this year, we can get together and do something, and that would be just so amazing because she really is such a wonderful person to watch. And, you know, she's silly and goofy like me. And if you're watching, Megan, I need to get one of your dumpster fires, because that's what I feel like most of the time. But I just thought that was so cool and wonderful, that, you know, she's just so friendly and so nice. And it's a little hard to find that. And again, she's just like, I don't know, it's like finding an old friend. I laugh every time I watch her. She's just amazing, and it would be such an honor and so wonderful to do something nice with her like that. And once I get the card printed out, I'm going to figure out, y'all can always go on her channel, and she has it down in her description box if you want to do it too. You can go to her channel and have it printed out. I don't know how to, I don't know how to get it onto my channel, but please, by all means, if you want to do it with me and with her, you can go to her channel, Miss Megan Made Me, and again, that I will put in my description box. But you can do it along with us if you'd like. And it's going to be something fun. And once I get it, I will write in what I want on my Pico card. Great name, by the way. I get it. I laughed when you said it. But, let me see. Damn it. I didn't attach it to the top. See, and normally I would probably try to cut all of this out, but I'm not going to, because man, the struggle is real. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what happens. You know, a lot of crocheters, a lot of YouTube artists, they would, for the most part, cut mistakes like this out. Okay. And I was thinking of doing that at one point, but honestly, this is real. This is what sometimes makes it for projects to take a little bit longer, because especially, like, this is only the second time I've ever attached anything like this. So, it's still not muscle memory. And I forgot that I was connecting it to the top. But okay. But like I said, I once I saw what she was doing, I thought that would be so fun, because again, I do have a list, and it's not in this notebook, it's in my other notebook. I do have a list that I'm writing out of all the things that I want to accomplish in 2026. And when I saw her doing that, I was like, oh, that's such a great idea, because I was doing it anyway, but let's turn it into a game. And maybe I can get a blackout and finish everything that's on my Pico card. So once I get that and I fill it all out, that is going to be a video. And I am going to show you what's on my Pico card. And I will put her channel down in my description box. And if anyone wants to join in, you can go over to her channel and you can print it out and you can check her out. Because there's more than, enough time to watch us all. And she is such a delightful human being. So, and I love her cat Willis. Even though I'm allergic to cats, he's just the sweetest thing. But anyway, that is going to be all for this video. I am so excited for what's to come this year. I am so excited to get working on this list and see what Adventures Crochet is going to bring us this year. And hopefully it will be wonderful, and hopefully my channel can grow and we can have, an adventure and figure out how to do new things. Hopefully write out some patterns, figure out how to do that, and just create as much as possible, because that is my happy place. And, it's therapy. My doctor said so. And it's just, something that I love to do. And I want to do it with you guys. And we are going to figure this out, and we are going to get better, I promise. And again, I didn't forget. I am going to try to go live soon, but honestly, with my fibromyalgia, it's just, it hasn't been, my leg is going numb all over again. It's been a little rough for me. This weather where I am is very, very bad. It's very cold. The snow is coming. And that aggravates my fibro. So, it is what it is. But I'm hoping that I will be able to go live soon. And I'm going to show you what I have. And then we're going to go. So this is what I have so far. Let me know what you think. And now I'm going to do crochet along the bottom here. Do my granny stitch all the way down here. And then I have 2 more rows to go. This one and this one. And then this one. This one. And this one. And I think I can get that done tonight. I did what? 1 row in 20 minutes? We've been talking for about 21 minutes right now. And I did this row. So, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go finish this up. And, ooh, my eye's so itchy. And, I will see you in the next video. So, thank you so much. If you watched it all the way to the end, you're awesome. Thank you. I hope you like it. I hope you stick around if you're new and, you know, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. You could hit the little bell and it'll tell you when I'm on. And I'm going to try to get a better handle on this whole video thing. Just bear with me. And if you have any suggestions, you can always leave them down in the comment section. And I know you're probably all tired of me making blankets. Like I said, if I can get all of this attached tonight, then tomorrow I will most likely be working on my sweater. And boy, do I have something to tell you. But we'll save that for tomorrow. And then, you know, again, this is something that I have to do when I'm not on camera. Because I can't concentrate on attaching it and talking to you guys at the same time. But I had a fun day today making this video. I hope you liked it. And if you have any ideas, you can share them down in the comment section. If you want to join in with Miss Megan Made Me Pico card, you should go check her out. She is awesome. And I will discuss more ideas with you. Once I get that card printed out, I will share that with you too. And I think that's it. I am getting very tired. What else is new? My leg is completely numb. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go take a quick break and then try and finish this up today. But I'm starting to learn that whenever, it's great to have goals, and it's great to have, to want to do things within a certain time frame, or, set a time frame. But I'm also learning that it's okay if it doesn't get done by then. If it gets done a day later, or, it's okay. It's okay. Um, that's life. And on that note, y'all have a wonderful evening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.